You construct the power project where you need the demand, where the power is required. ACWA Power is the only company in Uzbekistan who are constructing transmission line along with our power project. Time has come where Uzbekistan banks have to rise up and be part of the great story. In the entire world, there are 3 projects which are in operations, one in China, in Spain, and one in Uzbekistan.
If you could fix one thing tomorrow to make renewable projects in Central Asia even faster or cheaper, what would it be?
Transmission lines. Our target is not just an investment in the country, is to bring affordable, reliable, and cleaner power in Uzbekistan.
Welcome to our office, Mr. Abid Malik. When you first started your projects in Uzbekistan, did you ever imagine ACWA Power would become one of the biggest foreign investors in the country's energy sector?
Thank you very much, first of all, for having me here. It's a pleasure and honor to be interviewed or discussed here on your very prestigious channel, which I truly follow. It's a very reputable and reliable channel. So first of all, I congratulate you. As far as ACWA Power is concerned, when we first entered in Uzbekistan back in 2019 and 2020, we actually did not realize that what is the real potential of Uzbekistan in terms of how Uzbekistan is set to grow in every sector, from energy to infrastructure to petrochemicals to mining industry and many other service sectors. So we entered into Uzbekistan back in 2019, 2020 with our first project in Sirdaria. And from 2020 till now, I'm very happy to report and share the information with you that ACWA Power from first project in 2020 and as of today, the projects which are in operation, construction or in advanced development, we are at an investment of total $15 billion in Uzbekistan.
That's impressive.
Thank you. And moving forward, there are few other initiatives with which we are working with the Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Investment, and we are targeting that our portfolio of energy project and green hydrogen project in Uzbekistan will be close to $25 billion in 2030. All of this was absolutely not out of the blue, out of the automatic. A lot of credit, not if lot, the entire credit goes to His Excellency, Mr. President, who has a very ambitious and very thoughtful vision and mission to keep the country growing towards a prosperity, towards growth in every sector. And the important prioritization that has been given to Karkal Pakistan region is really commendable. So at the end of the day, the mission and the vision and the reforms that were laid out by His Excellency Mr. President and the team consisting of all the ministries and the municipality, the way they are implementing truly demonstrate that this country has true leadership right from the top, starting from His Excellency Mr. President and then to Presidential Administration led by Her Excellency and then followed by all the ministries in order to make sure that engagement of all the ministries. The most important thing you must know that sometimes in many countries we have seen the leader, the president and the leadership lay out the reforms, but they are not implemented the way they are implemented here. Availability of various ministries, because the projects in energy sector when we do, it encompasses many things. For a normal person, it seems like you are taking a power plant, installing a power plant. In fact, it's a very, very complicated process because you have to put together the technology, the financing, the EPC contract, the land allocation, the tariff, the agreements that need to be entered between various stakeholders. And there are definitely, when you do all such a big investment, and I'm talking about, as I said earlier, we are talking about close to $25 billion. An average one project cost you, total investment cost of one project is close to 1 to 1.5 billion dollars. So this is the reason, one of the reason we have been able to be very successful is, number one, people are very transparent. The government is very transparent. They engage themselves unconditionally, irrespective of time of the day or year of the day of the year. They are always available to engage, and they are willing and acting to resolve our problems.
I see. People drive past those huge new solar and wind farms every other day. What's the one thing you wish they knew about what's actually happening out there?
It's a very brilliant question, I must tell you that, because a lot of people do not understand or appreciate the importance of clean energy, the decarbonization. People hear a lot of big jargons like decarbonization, but one thing people, based on this new era of social media, the world is in the palm of your hand and the information is with everybody, the climate change. I mean, if you look at around the world, everywhere from Europe to Asia, to South Asia, to India, Pakistan, the climate change has seriously impacted in the name of temperature rise, in the name of floods you are seeing everywhere, from Europe to Asia. This is a very, very important thing. Putting together renewable projects like wind and solar actually helps you in improving your climate and decarbonizing. I give you, for example, one thing, that our project, which we have recently put in operation in Bukhara, a 1 gigawatt, which is actually 1,000 megawatt, equivalent to 1,000 megawatt of wind project, will be serving close to 500,000 households in Uzbekistan. And actually, it will be reducing 2 million tons of carbon dioxide in the environment. Because if wind or solar was not, if this wind project, which is reducing 2 million tons of carbon dioxide, you would have produced this power either from gas or oil. And gas or oil are true hydrocarbons. And when you do the combustion, or let me put it that way, when you burn gas or oil, it produces emissions. And the most intimidating or the dangerous emission, which everyone is talking around the globe, is carbon dioxide. And this is one very important thing. And the second thing is, wind and solar aren't just an infrastructure project. They are actually the backbone of any country. And fortunately, Uzbekistan is one of those countries which has evolved significantly and become an example for many people around the world, if not in Central Asia. And this is how I think people should remember that when they look at all these renewable projects, they should look at their future generation. What you are going to give to your next generation? Are you giving them a polluted world, or you are going to give them a clean world?
You've already built projects that can power more than 1 million homes. What moment so far made you think, wow, we're really changing their lives?
It's a moment of pride, to be honest with you. We at this point in time, as I told you, that our projects currently in operation or construction or in advanced development, we are, $15 billion of investment. We, at this point in time, we have 3,000 megawatt of our projects currently in operations.
Huge.
That's huge. And the moment of pride, what we take is, I give you an example. One of our colleague, when Bash and Jankeldi, our 1,000 megawatt of project came into operation earlier this year, one of our colleague living in Nevoy, and the same type of events happen elsewhere, because when you live in a building, people knows you, who you are. And when he came out, actually the residents of that building saw him and started clapping and thanking him. And that was a huge moment of pride, that this is what we are adding into the country by providing them clean energy and more importantly, reliable and affordable power. The second moment of pride which we always take, I'm not really sure if you know, that Shirin College in Sirdaria is one of the most reputable technical institute in the country. What we are doing right now, we have renovated that energy college. We have added some additional courses, technical courses, including the language courses, because to prepare the young generation, the next generation for the future. So far in Shirin College, in last 3 years, there are 376 students who have actually graduated from that institute, and they are now serving both in ACWA Power and other companies in Uzbekistan.
With several projects already delivered, how many jobs, local jobs, ACWA Power has created so far, and what's the plan for the future?
This is a very important subject. I would go beyond jobs, if you allow me. What we are doing in addition to why we are doing Shirin College is because in order to prepare the next generation to take on the gap which currently exists due to increasing industrial evolution that is coming in the country, the power generation growth that is happening in the country, somebody has to operate and maintain these plants and construct these plants. The purpose, we saw that 3 years back when we were convinced, when we saw the reality happening in the country, that industry is growing, power generation is growing. We thought about it, that who is going to operate and maintain and construct this plant, keeping in perspective that it is ACWA Power duty that we are not only here as an investor, we have to give something back to the society, back to the country, back to the new generation.
Like so training first.
Training. So we educated them with the specialized courses in renewable power, in combined cycle power, and they continue to contribute. So, for example, I give you one example. We are estimating that there will be more than 3,000 people who will be required at different stages to construct our projects which are in the pipeline, which are going into construction. And we are targeting that more than 70% of these people will come from Uzbekistan.
Locals.
Locals. And it's not only that. What we have also done in order to support the economy and to support the local jobs, we in fact are working very closely with all the leading manufacturers in Uzbekistan, whether it's especially in the transmission line and the construction contractors, to make sure that they are the one who continue to work at our projects and construct them. And this will add not only to the local jobs, but will add huge value to the economy of the country, because our slogan is very clear: made in Uzbekistan, made for Uzbekistan, and then made for the world. This is actually, we have taken it. There are, His Excellency Mr. President has issued a presidential decree, but we have taken it as our duty towards the country as a responsible investor.
That's great. Green hydrogen is the new buzzword. You already started producing it here this year. What simple benefits could it bring to everyday industries like farming and factories and all?
Green hydrogen, I must tell you, before, they are not, first of all, I can tell you everybody is using ChatGPTs and all these AI tools. I would encourage the audience who are listening to me, go and go on ChatGPT. I'm looking at you, I'm telling you, go on ChatGPT, go on your AI tools, whatever you have on your phone, and put it there, that how many green hydrogen projects are actually under construction and operation in this world. And I'm telling you, you will feel very proud that out of 6 or 7 projects, one of them is Uzbekistan. There are, in the entire world, there are 3 projects which are in operations, one in China, in Spain, and one in Uzbekistan. And Uzbekistan, we have put our first project. Before I go and answer your question on the buzzword and what does it mean for the country and for people of Uzbekistan and for the government of Uzbekistan, I really want you to see that the first project ACWA Power has done, and thankfully to Ministry of Energy, and we are extremely thankful to the Minister of Energy and the Ministry of Investment and Finance, who worked very closely with us on this initiative. The first project we have is in Maxim Cherchik, which is a 3,000 tons annual production of green hydrogen for their fertilizer. ACWA Power is the leading player in the world. The biggest project which is under construction is in NEOM, which is 220,000 tons of green hydrogen per year, and this is 3,000. But the beauty is, this is one of the 3 projects in the world in Uzbekistan that is operation. Now coming back, what does it mean? Why it's a buzzword? I'll take you back, probably you were very young at that time, when there was a boom started in the solar power. It was back in 2010, 2012, when there were a lot of boom was coming. People were talking about climate change. We were talking about renewable energy. The tariff of a PV power was very expensive, but still the world was driving it. The world was pushing for it. Why it was so expensive? Because of the belief in renewable energy, the research and development that was going into solar panels, and the lack of demand in the solar panels. I can tell you right now that the prices of the solar panel that was in 2012, it's actually, if I'm not wrong, it's actually 10 times lower. And the reason I gave you that example is, green hydrogen is, we firmly believe that it is going to follow the same path. Right now, how do you produce green hydrogen? Like in PV project, you have PV panels, but in a green hydrogen, you depend on one of the most important component is called electrolyzer. Some of your audience who are, I'm sure, students, who are science students or professionals, they do understand what electrolyzer means. Electrolyzer basically, take the function of converting into hydrogen. That research and development is going on. The demand will continue to rise. And we firmly believe this is going to add significant value. Again, going back to the concept of decarbonization. Currently, the fertilizer is produced through gas, methane, which again is a part of, when you do all of that, you have an impact on the climate change. Now that gas in the future will be replaced by this green hydrogen. And once you do that green hydrogen and use that fuel for your fertilizer, for your vehicles even, there are transportation buses, public buses, which are happening in some locations around the world, including China, where the buses are operated on the green hydrogen and hydrogen fuel cells. So it's not just fertilizer, it's transportation, it's trucks, and many other utility of green hydrogen, which is going to not only help Uzbekistan, but will also help the entire world in decarbonization and improving the climate.
Saudi vision, Chinese turbines, Japanese batteries, and European funding and land in Uzbekistan. How do you actually get all these countries and companies to play nicely together to realize your project?
Good, very important. I think, as I said earlier, when you put together a project, if you remember, I said there are a lot of stakeholders in the project. Lenders are the stakeholders. The technology partners are the stakeholders. The shareholders who come and invest their equity in the country, they are important shareholders. Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Investment, Ministry of Finance, NIGU, UES, they are all important off-takers. So when you do a project, you have to, we as a leading developer, you work with all of them. Okay. In order to bring them all together to start the construction of the project, to make the financing available. Now, as a part of the story, I am very happy to share with you that every project we have done so far, we have brought all critical multilaterals, international finance institutes, we have brought leading technology providers. So I'll start with first the leading lenders of this project, the financial institutes, EBRD, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, ADB, OPEC Fund, we have brought AIIB, Islamic Financing, IFC. So if you look at all the international financial institute, they are all part of the success story of ACWA Power and Uzbekistan so far in our projects from Tashkent to Karakal, Pakistan. The second important partner are the shareholders. So for example, ACWA Power has brought one of the world's largest sovereign fund is Silk Road Fund from China. They are equity partners in one of our projects. We have CSGI, China Southern Grid. They are also partner in equity partner, shareholder in one of our projects. So these are two Chinese. In addition to that, we have also brought Japanese investors along with us into projects. For example, in our project in Samarkand and Karakal, Pakistan, Sumitomo, which is one of the largest company, and Shubo Electric and Shukiko Electric, they are part of our success story as a shareholder. And not only these are the Japanese angle as an investor, we have also brought one of the leading bank called JBEC into our one of the lenders as well, in addition to EBRD, IFC, ADB, NEXI, AIB, OPEC Fund. JBEC is also one of the leading bank in Japan, who is also providing lending for the implementation of these projects. Now, we talked about shareholders, we talked about lenders and the banks. We have also brought all the leading technology providers, whether it's Mitsubishi, whether it's Siemens, whether it's Sungrow, and many other, we have Envision Wind Turbines, which is one of the largest wind turbine producer in the world in China. We have brought Sungrow. The one thing which we are now working on is to work with the banks in Uzbekistan. Now the time has come where Uzbekistan banks have to rise up and be part of the great story. We have managed to work with Ipoteka Bank, and I'm thankful to them for their trust and belief in the project we are doing. But what we want to see is more and more Uzbekistan-based bank to come and part of that story. And this is how we are packaging everything together, that it's not just ACWA Power. We came, people look at us, because all of these banks have been working with us in many other countries around the world. When ACWA Power come, it brings the credibility that when ACWA Power come and develop a project, we deliver what we commit. That's why all of these shareholders, the lenders, and the technology provider, they trust us. So when we come, they come along with us. And this is how we are adding value as a Saudi company, and including the Islamic financing into Uzbekistan.
If you could fix one thing tomorrow to make renewable projects in Central Asia even faster or cheaper, what would it be?
Transmission lines. Because if you... Construction. And the reason is, for your audience and the people who are listening to me, is because unlike previously, the way power projects were constructed, and this is very important for your audience to know, that in the past, 20 years before, you construct a gas-fired project or oil-fired project where you need power the most. Because, for example, look at Tashkent, look at Old Tashkent, look at around Tashkent, or in other places where you construct the power project where you need the demand, where the power is required. And why you do that? Because when you produce the power from a power plant, it is transmitted through a transmission line. People who, when you drive cross country or in the city, you see a lot of overhead transmission line that are going. that transmission, when you transmit the power from one location to the other location,
You lose some of it.
you lose some of it.
Yes.
Now the problem is, or not the problem, opportunity is, the wind does not blow everywhere, the sun does not shine everywhere. You install the power project, wind or solar, where you have the best wind speed and where you have the best sunshine. And this is where, for example, we are installing projects in Bukhara, we are doing wind projects in Nukos and Karkal, Pakistan. We are putting together a solar power project in Samarkand. All of that require a transmission line. And there's an opportunity for it. There is an opportunity for Uzbekistan, as I said, on the localization. Now we need all these time. And by the way, ACWA Power, let me do, what we are doing. ACWA Power is the only company in Uzbekistan who are constructing transmission line along with our power project. For example, Bukhara project, which went into operation, has close to 800 kilometers of transmission line we constructed and is under operation. For Samarkand project, we are doing a similar transmission line of close to 1,000 kilometers. For Karkal, Pakistan, it's at more than 1,500 kilometers of transmission line we'll be constructing. So transmission line is extremely important. And second important thing along with the transmission line is your grid system, how the grid operate. So transmission line construction and grid improvement in order to ensure a reliable and affordable power.
You are working to bring wind turbine manufacturing right here in Uzbekistan. What excites you most about training locals to build and run these technologies themselves?
You're promoting, thank you. You know a lot about ACWA Power. Thank you so much for highlighting that.
I'm just
Yeah.
prepared.
Thank you, thank you. We, as I said, in Karkal, Pakistan, we are putting together, or we will be constructing close to 2,000 megawatt of wind power. What we decided that we bring one of the leading Chinese wind. Keep in mind, China is the largest wind turbine producer in the world, by far. There is no other company which is close to any of these leading companies. There are multiple companies. There are 3 leading companies who are producing wind turbines in China. And we told them that, look, time to come and start manufacturing in it, because this is part of the drive I told you earlier of promoting the local manufacturing. When you do the local manufacturing, you create jobs, you create economic activity, and that's why we have brought one of the leading wind turbine manufacturer by the name of Goldwind. They are actually, in the background of this interview, you can see the wind turbines. There are things called tower, and you can see the blades. These are 2 very important components which will be manufactured in Uzbekistan for all of our wind turbines. For Karkal, Pakistan, it's a 2,000 megawatt, and it's close to, safe estimated, it will be close to 300 wind turbines that will be manufactured here. And that will open the door for other wind projects that are going to be constructed by other investors to benefit from that. Second thing, your question on the training is concerned, go back to the Shirin College, go back to ACWA Power vision of preparing the youth for the future. All of these boys and girls that are graduating from Shirin College, and there is another program, Al Jabr program, they will be working in all of these manufacturing facilities and training themselves, and then they will be ambassadors of Uzbekistan to outside Uzbekistan as well.
Are there any plans like to export these components to other countries or just for Uzbekistan?
It's purely up to those manufacturers, and I firmly believe that once these factories are set up, they will definitely export to not only to the neighboring countries but beyond the boundaries of Central Asia as well. I don't see a reason why these products that are going to be manufactured. And in addition to that, I would say when we're talking about transmission line, all those conductors which on the towers, they will also be manufactured by the local manufacturers, by the leading local manufacturers in Uzbekistan, and not only the wind turbines from Chinese manufacturers. The local manufacturers who will gain a lot of experience by manufacturing these conductors and towers, they will also be exporting it outside Uzbekistan. Remember my word, made in Uzbekistan, made for Uzbekistan, and made for the world.
Sounds motivating. These projects are set to cut millions of tons of pollution each year. How do you see that playing out for air quality and health in Uzbekistan?
I think, as I said earlier, one project of our Bukhara 1000 megawatt, just one project of 1000 megawatt with 157 wind turbines is going to cut 2 million tons of carbon dioxide per year. And don't forget one thing, because we all talk about carbon dioxide because it's the leading emission contributor and the cause of the climate issues. There are other emission products like SO2, sulfur dioxide, and particulate matter that is also part of the emissions when you burn gas or oil. In addition to carbon dioxide, this thing will also help reduce the emissions, and we firmly believe Uzbekistan is going to benefit a lot. And to be very honest with you, it's already benefiting. You may not see it because there is no visible thing, but at the end of the day, we are helping Uzbekistan, government of Uzbekistan, and people of Uzbekistan with a better and cleaner world in the future.
You've already said that your projects have already topped like $15 billion and you have like 19 projects altogether. What's the one upcoming initiative that could really surprise people about Uzbekistan's energy future?
There are two things I would say. One, I have already talked about it. We are expecting that green hydrogen with R&D, with cost effectiveness, with the demand going up, we firmly believe Uzbekistan will, inshallah, be surprised soon with the benefits and the cost impact of green hydrogen. And number two, we firmly believe Shireen College is going to tangibly benefit. I give you one example. We have a control room of all of our projects in Tashkent, and I would request you and I would invite you to visit it. You'll be surprised that it is being operated by the boys and girls who have graduated from Shireen College. We are clearly seeing that. The third thing, keep in mind one thing, with the growing electricity demand in Uzbekistan and the efforts being put together by various ministries, including Ministry of Energy, and NIGU and UES, in improving their grid, there is a peak power. Peak power, if you know, and I think your audience will probably understand very clearly, it's the morning and the evening when kids are going to school, when people are getting ready for their offices, breakfast is being made.
Peak hours.
Peak hours. And the second peak hours in the evening. Peak hour is a very important concept in the power generation industry. We believe that this peak hour, based on the analysis we have seen, based on the GDP growth we have seen over the last 5 to 8 years, and based on the projections on the growth, GDP growth, everybody is forecasting, we believe we are going to do something, propose something to the government of Uzbekistan in forms of a solution that will help them in making sure that across the year there is a reliable peak power available to their consumers and the people of Uzbekistan to ensure that they have a better life.
10 years from now, what do you hope people in Kun.uz or Bukhara or anywhere in Uzbekistan will say about the work ACWA Power has done for these communities? After 10 years, how do you see?
I think it's, number one, we our target is not just an investment in the country, is to bring affordable, reliable and cleaner power in Uzbekistan. This is how we want to be remembered, that we have brought change in people's life. We brought an affordable, reliable and cleaner power and help them in making sure that the climate is uninterrupted in such a beautiful country like Uzbekistan. Second thing, we want to be remembered through our continuous effort in bringing the youth development. We are focusing very heavily on that. We are through these various programs. We are adding a lot of training and technical enhancement of knowledge in their life and creating the job opportunities for them. This is how we want to be remembered.